looking for a video on YouTube. I think I just googled like my husband doesn't understand the weight of motherhood. I was looking at postpartum depression, and I just wasn't finding the video that I wanted to find, so I'm just gonna make it. And hopefully this is like cathartic enough for me that I can, feel better. But I am, for those of you that don't know, I'm 10 months postpartum, and I don't even know where to start. I'm burnt out. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired of the weight of motherhood. I just feel like I've been working 20-hour days, and the 4 hours that I have off, I'm like sleeping in that time, and it's not even consecutive sleep. It's just let me just read what I just journaled, actually. I did find one video that was somewhat helpful, and it was titled like Postpartum Resentment, and she was talking about how her husband, like, she will see him like going to get his haircut or going to the bathroom by himself or taking a 30-minute shit. She's like, must be nice. And that's kind of how I feel, but it's like it's almost more than that now. It's like I'm at this point, like, before in my earlier postpartum journey, and this is my second full-term pregnancy. But earlier in this journey, it was like I felt so powerless, and I felt like I'm not doing anything for myself, and now I'm at a point where I have the energy to do things for myself, and I'm having the energy to bring myself alive again, do the things that make me feel alive. And it's almost like I feel like my husband is so used to me holding so much of the weight with the kids that the second that I'm like putting my foot down about I don't want to breastfeed anymore, I don't want to be on night shift all the fucking time anymore. I've recently started sleeping at my brother and his girlfriend's house to just have a night off, one night a week off. Like, that is not too much to ask. And I just feel like he doesn't get it. Like, he just doesn't fucking get it. I feel like literally the only other person that gets it is other new moms. Other moms in my shoes. Like, I was talking to another mom that she just had her first baby, and she was like, I just didn't even know the amount of time that you spend breastfeeding. It's like 6 hours a day, minimum 6 hours a day. And on top of that, if you're the breastfeeder or chest feeder, you're the one waking up at night. And we got in this habit of like buying formula, and then if I didn't want to breastfeed, my husband would get the formula, and then we just stopped buying formula because we couldn't find the one that our kid likes, and so we just stopped buying it. And then I was just like taking on the role of the breastfeeder again, even though that's not what I wanted to do. And I was just like doing it, being like, oh, he's eating food now, he won't need as much milk. But then, like, I would get lazy about feeding him, or my husband would get lazy about feeding him, and then it will fall back on me of like, oh, he's not hungry, or he's too hungry to go to bed, like, you gotta feed him. And it's just frustrating. Like, you feel like you get to this point with postpartum, and it's postpartum is the time period after you give birth for that year. Postpartum depression is something different. People are like, oh, you have postpartum. No, you are postpartum. Postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, postpartum rage, postpartum resentment, different. And I feel like I'm all of those right now too. Like, I am anxious. Thank God for my medicine, for my SSRI antidepressant, because I don't feel like I'm just depressed. Like I'm moving through even these emotions I have right now. But like the postpartum rage is there. The postpartum resentment is there. And I feel like it's, before I was like, why would we be built with these like mechanisms that make us feel crazy or that make us feel like rageful when it's supposed to be the happiest time of our life? And I think with the birth of social media, people make it seem like it's the happiest time of your life, and really it's fucking hard. And when people used to tell me that, I used to be like, what is so hard about it? A baby, they sleep all the time. It's like, your whole life changes. Your whole life changes from going from all you have to worry about is you, maybe an animal, to now this being needs you to stay alive for the first 2 years of their life. They're so dependent on you. They don't sleep. They don't sleep well. Or I guess it's rare that babies sleep well. But so you're for the first time in your life, you're waking up every 2-3 hours. If you're the birther and the breastfeeder, then you are the one waking up every time that they wake up and feeding this kid. And then when people are like, oh, just sleep when the baby sleeps, it's like, that might be feasible for a parent of one, but I have 2 kids. That's not feasible. Like, the second, even last night, I was up from 2 to 5, and then I slept till 8, and because my littlest one got up, and then by the time I put him down, I was like, I can just sleep now and catch up on some sleep, because I slept 4 hours last night. And the second I lay down to go to sleep, my older son woke up, and I'm like, God, I cannot catch a break. And then and in my postpartum journey, I'm like, again, at this point where I'm capable and I have the energy and the drive to do something outside of childcare. So I'm doing the things for me. And so yesterday I, held a full moon ceremony at night and told my husband, hey, I need you to watch to be with the kids, and you have your fishing time before. And he, went to work that day, but I was working too. Just because I don't leave the house to go to work does not mean I'm not fucking working. And if anything, to me, the luxury of driving in your car for 40 minutes by yourself and then being at work, where you get to separate from your identity as a parent for 8-9 hours a day, is just sounds like heaven. And my husband and I have talked about can I go back to work and you stay at home? And he doesn't want to do that. And so that's a point of resentment for me too. It's some stay-at-home moms spent their whole life dreaming about being a stay-at-home mom. I didn't. I never wanted that. I was always the person that was I'm never having kids, I'm never getting married, I'm just gonna focus on me, and I have all these goals and aspirations, and being a mom didn't change. I still have goals and aspirations. I have goals in motherhood, I have goals in my marriage, and I have goals in my life and in general, and things that I want. I have passions that light me up. And even just sitting here recording this video, because I couldn't find the one that I was looking for on YouTube, it's it's just things for me that make me feel good. And my resentment today is feeling a lot all the work that I do is unseen. It's invisible. It's endless laundry. It's endless dishes. It's endless cleaning up after kids. It's also endless diaper changing and meal making and keeping myself fed and keeping my kids fed and keeping up water. And it's summer, so I have a like 8 raised beds of plants that need watering and care and weeding, and when my husband's at work and doesn't see these things, I think it's easy, and I say this as someone that I used to go to work and my son would be watched by my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law. And I remember thinking about my sister-in-law, like, oh, it must be so nice to just stay at home all day. And so I get my husband's perspective because I had that before I was a stay-at-home parent. But it's still work, and 2 kids, 2+ kids. I mean, 1 kid staying at home is a lot. It's because you're getting used to it. It's a lot. I know this is like it might be all over the place. But again, I just wanted to make a video that like is the video that I was looking for, which is like someone just sitting down, like I'm having a chat with them, being like, this is fucking hard and I'm annoyed right now and I feel like I can't do the things that I want to do, or if I do try to do them, like my husband seems like he's resentful. And that's such a thing too, like your relationship just shifts so much, because before kids you have time for anything that you want to do, and then after it's like you're fighting each other for time, and if you don't have like full daycare or something, then, or even just help with daycare, then it's just you and this other person, and it feels so fucking hard to do anything. It's like, you know, even just going fishing for my husband, like, you know, he goes at least 3 times a week, and for me, like, I'm frustrated with that because, like, he'll go get his time, and I know a lot of people, like, a lot of stay-at-home moms I hear, like, oh, my husband comes home from work, but then he showers and goes to the gym and does this, and I'm just, like, at home all day. And for me, it's, like, late, I feel like I've tried to say this 14 times, but lately, I've been in this place where I am ready to move. I'm ready to do things outside of the home. I'm ready to do things outside of motherhood that light my soul up, that make me passionate and creative and fun and flowy and happy. And today it just feels like when I try to do those things, like I'm almost punished for it, or like it's like, well, and I don't know if this is really what my husband thinks, but I know I've thought some of it when I was a working parent about stay-at-home parents, but it's like, you just stay at home all day. If you don't do anything all day, it's fucking easy what you're doing. And it's like, it's constant. Like, again, when you're at work, whether you choose to take it or not, because I didn't always choose to take it, you get a lunch break, you get bathroom breaks. Again, you get to like have this shift in identity throughout the day of like, oh, I'm more than just a parent. And maybe for people who always saw themselves as being a parent, or people who plan their pregnancy, like all 3 of my pregnancies, 2 of them were full term, 1 of them ended in an abortion when I was 15. But I just think it's different for everyone, and I think that the more that I talk to other birthers, the more I see this like disparity in the amount of work that we do. Like, I've seen, I saw this video that a woman like tracked, she was on maternity leave and everyone was like, oh, enjoy your vacation, and she like tracked every time she fed the baby, was changing a diaper, was awake at night, and it was like literally 20 hours a day. And I'm currently at the point where I am on 20 hours a day I'm getting really fucking sick of it. And thank God we have a babysitter starting next week, 2 days a week to give me my time. Because last week too, I hit a wall of like, I'm just fucking over this. I'm not staying in this like excuse and story that, oh, I can't do what I want to do because I have my kids all day and I can't do the things I want to do. Like, I don't want to resent my kids. So I was like, no, fuck that. I'm going to get up and do the things that I want to do. So got up and went to a coffee shop to like knock some things off my to-do list, because that's a huge task for me right now. Just doing any computer work is a huge task because I'm getting distracted like 40 times in a 4-minute span. So, you know, I was at this coffee shop for like 2 hours and I got 3 simple things off my to-do list. And that felt really good, but it's also taxing as fuck. It is so draining to multitask and like sit there and try, and like with my 2 kids, like, okay, you need water, you need food, you need this. Oh, this one, you need this, you need me to distract you with a toy. Okay, now let me get on my computer for 2 seconds and see, oh, no, now someone needs something. And it's just like this constant back and forth. That's what I feel like is leading me to this burnout stage, is like I'm constantly multitasking to like a level that I've just never done before. And I've been a director of operations, I've been a genetic scientist in a cannabis lab. Like I've been, my degree is in biology, and I had a chemistry minor, a microbiology minor, and I was getting my yoga teacher certification at the same time. Like, I am good at multitasking. I'm good at having many plates spinning at once and keeping up with them. Parenthood is a whole other thing. It's a whole other beast. It's just, it's a whole other beast. And if you're going through it right now, I feel for you, because me too. And one thing I'll say that's been super helpful, and I know not everyone has a great, like every birther or mom has a great relationship with their dad, or even has that parent alive to talk to. But it's been so healing for me to reach out to my dad and just vent to him, because my mom is great to vent to, and I vent to her all the time. I call her every day. But there's just something about the dad perspective that, like, and I know my dad's just he's like truly the best dad in the world. So, but he just has this ability to like make me feel seen while also giving me my husband's perspective, and making it where a lot of the times when I call my dad, I feel like at war with my husband, and like we're not on the same team. And after I talk to my dad, it's like he just has that ability to help me see both sides. And I think the biggest thing, when I was having a bad breakdown like a couple months ago, I called him and I was just like, I just want to quit. I just want to give up. I just want to quit everything and like fucking go drive my car into a wall. And he was like, that's not the solution here. Like there's always a solution. I know, even if it doesn't feel like it, there is a solution. And so that's like what I want to wrap up this video and saying, like, I feel burnt out right now, and I feel resentful, and I feel pissed, and I feel like my husband doesn't understand the weight that's on my shoulders with motherhood. And also, how the fuck could he? How the fuck could he? He has no idea. Because his parenthood journey started 10 months ago. Mine started a year and 10 months ago. Like, mine started the minute I got pregnant. That's when my parenting journey began. And that, I think that's probably why I feel so burnt out right now, because I've been doing this for 2 years. It's like my body has, been given over to this other being. Like, even now, like, I was growing my body, and now I'm feeding this baby with my body. I'm fucking so over breastfeeding. I cannot even tell you. I breastfed. So from 2017, I was pregnant with my first son. I breastfed him from 2018, 2019, 2020, January 2021. I was like, I'm done breastfeeding. The day after I was done breastfeeding, I found out I was pregnant. And I was like 4 weeks pregnant, like knew right when I got pregnant. And then since January 2021, was pregnant that whole year, gave birth mid-October. From then I've been breastfeeding. So since 2017. And I don't say this to be like a martyr wearing a badge of honor or whatever, but it's like, I'm fucking done. And like, no wonder I'm burnt out. No wonder. Like, I feel like there's this old conditioning that like women are just here to create life and sustain that life and be at home and be in the kitchen and cooking meals, and that's amazing for some people that actually want to do that. But if you don't want to do that, you're not broken, you're not a bad mom, you're a human being who doesn't have to live their life serving others. Like I'm at this point, like I'm so done having babies. Like I might adopt an older kid later on when I have more bandwidth, but like right now I just don't want to. I do not want to take care of another baby. I do not want to grow another baby with my body. I do not want to go through this. Like it's been two years for one pregnancy and baby, and then 4 years for the first baby with breastfeeding and pregnancy. It's just like it's a lot. It's a lot. And for the people who are still like, I don't know, I don't get why it's so hard. Like you have this identity shift where before you had all the freedom in the world to go do whatever you want whenever you wanted to. And then when the baby comes, it's like you live to serve your baby. And you kind of have to. Because if you don't, they would die. I hope this has been helpful. I don't know. This is the kind of video that I wanted, and I just wanted to just sit and vent about things that are going on within me, things that are frustrating me. One thing I will say too that's helped with my postpartum rage, I've already had like anger explosion issues my whole life, and like really regulating my nervous system has been such a thing for me lately, this last year, 2 years. And one thing that's been super helpful, like, because my husband was like pissy before he left. He took the boys so that I could have my yoga time. But it's like he was still pissed about it. And in that moment I wanted to like yell at him of just like, how dare you think that you're doing more work than me, to be honest. Like, how dare you? Like, I took 2 hours out of the entire 24 hours of yesterday to myself. You had your fishing time. We also just had a camping trip where you were fishing every fucking day. Multiple hours without children. Like, I need my time. And I wanted to, like, yell this at him and be like, are you out of your goddamn mind that you don't see all the work that I do? But I just was like, you know what? That's really not going to help. He's pissed about his own thing. He's in his own world. I'm pissed about my own things. I'm in my own experience. And, like, it really doesn't help to just, like, I need to be heard. That's part of why I did this video, too. It's like someone, I know this will help someone, even if it's just one person. I know it's going to help someone feel seen and heard and maybe appreciate it if no one's told you today. Like, tell yourself, I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself for this growth and transformation and ass kicking that I'm taking right now, being a parent. Because it ain't no joke. It really, it's just no joke. So if you're feeling pissed, resentful, if you have postpartum rage, like, I highly just recommend, and it's taken me months of practice. Like, the first time I wrote this thing about, like, zipping up, I think it was like 2 or 3 months ago, and I'm just now getting to the point where I'm, like, not explosively yelling at my husband and then being like, damn, I remember I said I was gonna zip up. Like, zip up my mouth and just shh for a minute. But that's been really helpful just for my marriage, to not, like, sit there and yell at each other about why we're both pissed. It's like, let me just go process my emotions in a healthy way that isn't gonna, like, inflict trauma on my boys, because I don't want them to just know mommy as, like, the person that was yelling in my house while I was growing up. So yeah, that's been helpful for me. And also just, like, venting to your people. Like, if you don't have any other mom friends, go to a milk cafe, go to a Facebook mom community. Make friends in the mom community. Make friends when you take your kids to the park. Even if your kid's, like, 2 months, go to the park and go meet some other moms and be honest. Like, and they're like, oh, how's it going? Like, I'm struggling. Like, my go-to response if it's a hard day is, like, what did I say that day? Maybe, like, it's one of those days, or, like, I'm surviving, you know. But if this resonated with you, let me know. Give it a like. You can leave a comment, like, if it helped you. I love knowing, that people are resonating with the content that I'm making. And if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to my channel too. All my content is very similar to this. A lot of it is just me talking to the camera. That's what I'm going through, and being honest about it. Like, I'm really tired of this, like, picture perfect life that people try to portray. People subconsciously portray on social media, because they're taking pictures and then they're just sharing the highlight reels because that's a big moment that they want to share, and I get it, but it can be harmful. And I just want to be real with people, and especially for the people who are on the fence with parenthood. Like, I want them to know, so that you can make an informed decision and not have a decision based on these, like, cutesy photos and cute babies and cute outfits that you don't really even, like, get the full grasp of what's going on. What the other side is to that, because the highlight reel is true. It's real. But at the same time, so is the opposite of that. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.